It's January 12th, and we're back on the roof. As promised, I'm going to point out some of the reasons that the Planetary Air Conditioner is not perfect. Okay? And one reason is trees. They kind of get in the way of the light. Before you get to the trees, there's clouds, okay? If they get in the way of the light coming in, neither good nor bad, just is. Before you get to the clouds, you have the angle of penetration. Think of sunset time when the light has to travel through about literally 5 times as much as it does when it's just going straight down. Okay? Now is winter, and so the sun is closer to the horizon. In the summer, where I live, it'll be 6 degrees off top dead center. Anyway, when you get down to the mirrors, well, oh look, leaves, okay? The leaves do not do it any favors. Oh look, that's that mirror that I've got the scientific dirt test on. Yeah. How's that working for me? Well, it's a good test, but when there's moss and dirt on a mirror, it doesn't work very well. Leaves, of course, bird poop, pollen, all kinds of stuff can get on a mirror, and normally I'd clean it, but it's winter, and I cleaned it a month or so ago because I did a video. Normally I don't bother cleaning it in the winter because I'd like my house to be a little bit warmer. I did come up here, and before I started filming, I swept. Otherwise, if you can see the leaves down at that end of the roof, yeah, that's what it looked like over here. So what else can happen? Imagine if you have a mirror that's like a smoked mirror that has, kind of a grayish glass or bluish tinted glass. Yeah, that will absorb some photons, and you're trying to emit them back into space. Okay? Another thing that can happen is this guy right here. You see it's got a scratch underneath it. If you scratch the covering for a mirror, and by covering I mean that which covers the silver bit. Okay? If you scratch it, that will kill the actual reflective property. Another thing that happens, and this is an ugly example, that is the backing has gone away. I don't know why. You can literally see through to the roof below. And that is the aluminum being chewed up and just gone. It's icky. But it's a reality. And yet, there's 4 of them. And there's 2 more. And the ones right next to them are fine. So out of one box of 6 mirrors, those 6 mirrors, not so good. But the ones right next to them that I've treated in every way identical are fine. Go figure. All right, so going down, you have to reflect off of the metal. Light comes back up, okay? Goes through the same glass, so if it's a smoked glass, that's no good. It then comes up and passes through the dirt a second time. So if you've got dirt on a mirror, it's doubly bad, okay? If you've got a leaf, it's an edge effect. You can shine light down underneath it and catch it, but pretty much all of that light was blocked. And once you get beyond it, you're fine. Again, coming up, oh look, trees. And again, You've got all kinds of nice stuff called clouds. I like them. They bring rain. Rain is good. So those are the main things. Once it gets past that, the light will exit. Infrared, oh well. But we're just moving the visible spectrum and a lot of the not visible spectrum. Another few things that are unexpected are, yeah, right there. Can you see the reflection? Everything that hit that aerial antenna is either absorbed or reflected, but it has nothing to do with the mirror. The light won't get there. So buildings and structures in the way. If you look at the very edge, the way that the roof is made, there are ridges that I've tucked under, and that's fine, but there's a shadow cast on one side, and on the other side, it's kind of the reverse of a shadow, because that which is reflected off of the mirror goes to the metal, so that's no good. There's an antenna over there's the wire that feeds power to the house. Yeah, that gets shined upon. That doesn't get back to space. Okay. And I'll say it, because as a scientist, we deal with all kinds of stuff. A scientist is someone who believes in the fallibility of experts. And one of the things, it's been pointed to me, is the roof isn't black, and comparing full absorption to full reflection, but wait a minute, the roof isn't black. So even if the light hits the roof, a goodly proportion of it is reflected up anyway. As with most metals, it absorbs in the near infrared. So that's kind of yes and no, but gotta point it out. Another thing is, why is there a brick on my roof? And sometimes it comes in handy, for instance, if I'm putting it on a piece of paper so the paper doesn't blow away. One of the things you'll notice is it could get hurt. I mean, I've pointed out before, oh look, there's a tile that broke. And yeah, that broke a month after things were installed. There was stress. I didn't know how to put mirrors in. And in fact, I never glued them down. These mirrors are just slid in. Trimmed one side and slid them underneath the lip. And only 2 of them broke. And the third one over there, but that was a fight with a tire. So can they be damaged? Yeah, they can. And in fact, they do. But one time we had super hailstones, one of those rattle the roof storms. And I should have been smart and saved a couple and put them in the freezer and filmed them in the morning, but no. I just bragged about it to my son. He said, if you didn't get it on film, it didn't happen. But I know it did. And yet, that storm, when it was gone, I expected to come up here and have a cleanup nightmare. And nothing had happened. The tiles that broke before didn't get any more broken. The tiles that were not broken didn't break. So the risk of breakage seems to be somewhat less than I had predicted. Again, there are flaws, but by and large, if you look where my head is and you see the blue sky, what's going to happen is the sun that would have been behind me, okay, all it sees coming in is no trees, nothing, okay? All it sees going out is no trees, nothing. So some of it does work very nicely. And some of it, well, it's in the shade right now, but that'll be in the sun. And yeah, it'll wind up hitting the bottoms of those leaves. In the meantime, what it does do is it picks up the blue light and shines it away. So not only does it take sunlight direct, but it also takes the indirect sunlight and bounces that into space. So it comes both ways on the give and take. Perhaps 1050 is a little bit more than it's rejecting to space, but maybe there's some other things that it does right too. So that's a look at the mirrors, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.